Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about this, the mainstream terminology. And people use the word correction. Now, if you go watch all my videos, you never hear me use the word correction. I use the word relational change and relational and influence, the type that's reasonable, okay, how that sets up change. So you'll see these moments happening when influence takes hold, but it's proactive. It's not corrective that way. And this is a really distinct point here to help people to understand is not to wait. When you see people, the dog's mind is separating and, at a certain level, oftentimes the mainstream trainers, even into this issue about what training is and the type of influence that they're bringing online, they're waiting too long. Okay, you're in this corrective mentality. And what's a correction? It's like it's almost like, to me, I see it as like waiting until after the event happened, okay, when the mind peaks up to that high level. But you have to look at the fact of why is the dog, look at how the dog's investing. Their thinking processes are such that the mind is seeking. It's seeking fulfillment that way. It's about control. And so, you're speaking language through the type of influence that is happening. The dog understands. But if you're waiting, if what you're doing, how you're speaking language takes a form of a correction, it's like you're yelling, okay? It's like yelling, but you're not, if you really think about what I'm saying, it's not proactive that way. Parenting is about consistency. It's about speaking language, having a conversation that is more of a role model approach. But a correction is like yelling. It's almost like you're not engaging the dog. You're waiting until the actions happen before taking action. Okay, it's a reactive response. But so relationally, when I talk about these moments, it takes the form of a nudge. That language, it's proactive. I'm having the conversation because I know that change has to happen. See, that's the whole point here, is stepping back and looking at the relationship and the state of mind, the dog's state of mind. Look at these issues of control and power. Then what you're doing is you're looking at the relationship, saying, okay, how do I move it from point A to point B? It's like you have to speak the right language. It's about changing perceptions of the dog, but you're not waiting for the mind to build to that level. Okay, this is the thing about, if you look at, as the moments happen, it changes the moment you're in, and that represents, you see the dog's head turning inwards towards you. But the moments are happening pretty quickly. Okay, you have to get in tune to that, though. You have to understand, just as the dog starts to invest, you're tapping. And you're going to be more successful doing it that way. Because here's the thing. If you wait too long, you're not ahead of the curve. The dog's mind's already peaking up. And then you're you can be in a bad situation. It's going to challenge you more. So, because really it's working, and here's the other point, it works off your personality. Your thinking has to get set. I mean, you have to really embrace, what you're doing. Because that's the thing. Dogs understand that. For example, that's why dogs have a certain reaction to me, because I think a certain way. It's very, very defined. My hand, you'll see it just automatic in that, but that's the way you have to be. Right away, you're starting to engage that script. You're starting to, very intentionally do it in a way that's going to start to change perceptions of the dog. But I'm speaking that language right from very quickly. I'm having that conversation through how I'm using the method, through the leash, through how I'm moving the dog into positions, through these moments. But it's a conversation that I already know what has to happen. That's the point. So it's about relational change. This whole issue about correction, it's a mainstream idea that I just encourage people to think about that. Really think about what that means. You're waiting for the dog's mind to go over the top, but you need to be in tune to the dog's mind differently, just at the moment of separation, just what that means, where a look just isn't a look. Understand, once a dog has a level of control and power, looks aren't just looks, okay? And you can tell by how they respond to these moments, okay? You're still going to get a response, but that's kind of like the litmus test, is how the mind reacts to what's reasonable. But if you wait too long, you get a correction going on, it may be very unreasonable reaction, but the level of influence is not reasonable in the way of the dog, because they're saying, well, he's not really changed. He's like trying to assert this level of authority over me, but it's not setting up properly. Okay, it's not about the consistency of that. It's not working that way, and so there's a disconnect in that. So again, just something to think about. You won't hear me saying the word correction, and people who look at what I do and they think that it is, well, you're not looking close enough. I'd encourage you to go back to my videos. You can go back 5 years ago and just really pay attention to how I'm using influence, at what the timing of it. Look carefully, because I'm speaking language. It's ahead of the curve. And it'll look, if you're on a different wavelength, it'll look crazy. You'll be like, what's Dale? And I've heard that. What's Dale doing? Correcting the dog for what? They don't understand. But that's the problem. That's why these people can never clean up the dog's motives, or they never get to where they need to go in the relationship, because they're not looking through the lens that way. Okay, so really, but it's very effective once you really embrace how a dog's mind works that way. Very effective, because it's proactive. You're promoting change, and it makes sense to the dog. The dog totally understands what I'm doing when I'm doing it. They really do, because it's very consistent. It's language. Just I'm having a conversation through the leash, and how the method's coming together, and how these moments set up. It fades me into the moment I'm in. It starts to influence the dog's overall decision-making process as these moments build off each other. That's how it works. It changes perceptions of the dog. So anyway, thanks for watching.